All right, welcome back to episode 4 of Hook 'em and Book 'em with Jermell Deshauan,
What's
live
up, bro?
from LA while I'm here in Austin. I've known Jermell for quite a few years now. We've worked together uh, in the grinding situation at bars, not on set yet, which that'll come.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to have you on here, man. Tell everybody about yourself, where your journey began, how you got into acting, filmmaking. And I'm gonna step back. I just want you to introduce yourself to everybody and tell us what you got going on, man.
Yeah, for sure. So much for having me, Brett. I'm Jermell Deshauan. I'm originally from the Southside of Chicago. Actually, like walking distance from the new Obama Center. So
Nice.
still haven't been to see it, but it's cool. But yeah, so I'm originally from Chicago. I think I fell in love with acting. I was doing like school plays. I remember second grade, I was doing a school play and nobody even told me to do this, but I just like walked to the center of the stage and grabbed the mic and like delivered my lines. And I just remember feeling like super seen and like full of joy and just like excited. And I was like, man, this feels amazing. And I was 6. But I also was like, like a smart kid, so I didn't initially want to pursue it. I actually studied business in college. I went to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida, and it was there while I was a business student that like all of my electives started to become theater classes and acting for the film classes, and I started doing student films at FSU. They had a great film school. And so I started acting in those. I auditioned for some plays at FAMU, got callbacks, but didn't book them. But it started the journey for acting with me. And after I graduated from college, I had a job in corporate America. And I remember being next to my cube neighbor, and she gifted me the movie Office Space, and she was like, "This is going to be the next 40 years of your life." And I remember I went home and I watched the movie, and I was just remember being like, "No!" Shortly after, I started taking classes at Second City, Chicago,
Nice.
and like fell in love with improv and everything. And then that job moved me to Los Angeles, and I decided that I wasn't going to go back to Chicago, that I was going to stay in Los Angeles and pursue acting. And so I've been in LA since 2000. This is crazy. 2013. I've been in LA on the pursuit, acting, and booked a few national commercials, been in a few SAG things, some co-stars, guest stars, and the marathon continues.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So you're in Union?
I'm in the union. Yeah, I'm in SAG.
Cool. How long you been in the Union?
I've been in the union. You know what? I booked a national commercial maybe 2 years after getting to LA,
Okay.
and I became a must join after that. And I think it was like I was so excited to be eligible to join the union and everything, but I think that I probably joined really early. Like
Yeah.
too early. Because it's like what you don't realize is like you're going up against a lot of people. I think some of the first roles that I was going up for, like I'm losing parts to like Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo, and I'm like, I never stood a chance.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So
Assuming they're even auditioning, which I'm sure they
the
were, but maybe it's just a
probably
fake
not.
audition.
The offer's out and you're reading too.
Right. And then you're just, you're auditioning to use as leverage in case they negotiate with Lil Bow
The
Wow.
backup, the backup, the backup. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm probably in the same boat as you. I joined after one thing, and I was like,
Really?
like a few months later, my acting teacher was like, "Are you sure I was like, "I don't care. I just want to do it." And there's pros and cons,
Pros
obviously.
and cons. I would say that like theatrically for TV and film, I definitely noticed an uptick in like higher caliber of opportunities for, TV and stuff. Maybe commercially things kind of slowed down. I remember my commercial agents at the time, they were not happy with me joining SAG.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was like, this is weird, but because non-union projects were growing and growing, it was like, you make us money doing commercials. Now our,
They don't care
level
about
of
theatrical.
productivity. No, they don't care. No, yeah,
They want their money.
they want their money. So in retrospect, I understand why they were not happy, but being a little green, I was like, that's weird. They don't support me getting inside.
Right. Why would you not want me to progress in my career?
Exactly. I
You
thought it
know,
was weird. I'm like, yeah, that's weird.
but that's a great point for a lot of people getting ready to navigate, whether you're joining SAG or just joined it. What was the process like of you kind of coming to terms with that and accepting making that decision like, hey, I did this for me. Did you feel like you made the wrong decision joining? And were there moments where you're like, I could go fight? Did you ever consider going FICOR or no?
I haven't considered going Fight Corp. I do think that I may have joined too early.
Hmm.
But I also was in a precarious situation that I was also a must join. So
Right.
um, it was kind of like the industry is in so many ways, catch 22. But I
Hmm.
think that, it would have behooved me to maybe do more non-union work and get my feet wet on different projects so that I was a little more comfortable and a little more ready to compete at the highest professional level because it's not a joke. The competition is really, 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 really stiff.
It's
So
interesting.
so many people are good,
Yeah.
are
I mean,
are
you're
really
literally
good.
now a professional.
Yeah,
Once you join SAG, you're considered a professional
professional actor.
and
Yeah,
you don't you don't think about it, but then all of a sudden you're in the same category as the people you grew up watching,
watching.
which
Yeah,
gives
you
me
go to
goosebumps to talk
auditions.
about. But
No, you go to auditions and you see people that you've grown up watching. Literally, they're sitting next to you, and it's like with their size, they're going in the room. I mean, I was in LA because I just told you how long I've been here, but uh, I was here when we used to go in person in the room,
yep,
and
me
yeah,
too.
I
Feels
miss
like forever ago.
it. Yeah, it does feel like forever ago. We still go in the room a lot commercially. We
Hmm.
still go audition in person, but theatrically, not so much.
Right, unless it's a callback or a
Call
studio
back.
meet and greet or
Yeah,
something like that. Um,
I loved in person personally.
I did too. How did you find after COVID that, I mean, back then, I don't even remember. I mean, we had some self tapes,
Yeah, it was
but
starting.
it was starting, wasn't, it was mostly for like out of state,
Hmm.
literal, like if it was in Atlanta or somewhere else. But usually if it was LA, you'd be going in,
Yeah.
and especially for commercial. But you said you prefer in person rather than self tape and why?
I feel like when it's in person, it just still has that element of a live performance versus self-tapes. It feels like it's not that. It's something completely different. It's like more of like workshopping,
Mm.
workshopping an audition.
Hmm.
So I try to now working on my self-tapes. I don't give myself like an innumerable amount of chances. I want to I try to treat my first
Okay.
take like as if I was in the room.
Okay.
I typically don't try to give myself more than like three because
Okay.
also like as you think about what happens on set, you got to be ready on take one. Like you might get a different, another chance, another shot,
Maybe.
maybe, but like you kind of got to be ready to cook immediately. So I'm implementing that in my, process so that I'm always ready to go
Now,
when action is called.
everybody's different when it comes to auditions, and as far as obviously we listen to the directions of the casting director, but do you always make sure you're off book for your auditions, or are you sometimes holding your sides in your hand, depending on the turnaround time?
Um, I usually still hold my sides, but I'm typically off book.
Right.
I think being off book just allows you a different level of freedom. Um, but I also think that sometimes when you're not off book, like there's a different level of spontaneity that happens because you have to listen in a different way. So I toggle between the two, but I'm typically more off book than not.
Okay. Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I'm usually trying to be off book. I mean, there's been one or two times where I mean, I've
time.
pasted the sides right here just out of frame where you're looking at it and
Yeah,
it looks like you're just locked in.
right.
And if you get a call back or book those, you're like, oh shit, now I gotta learn my lines. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but and then you're like, okay, if I learn it, I gotta remember to do it the same way I just did it. But I know a
But I
lot
think
of
like even back in the day, like I look at old tapes from actors in the 90s, early 2000s or whatever. It's like they have their sides and like if you're reading for a part, reading for a director, they're literally grabbing and
yeah,
like it was a different situation. And
yep,
I think like they were able to still effectively tell a story that way. So I think, I think it is a skill though. If like you're not good at it, definitely practice at being able to cold read or be able to grab and take it off the page. But yeah, you can still tell a good story that
yeah.
way.
Yeah, auditioning is, and that's kind of what this podcast is about, is auditioning in itself is its skill,
It
and
is.
and it is acting, obviously, but there's a lot of different things. Like let's say you self-tape
Hmm.
and you book it, but when you're on set, there's 50 other people there watching you.
Yeah.
You're not just in your privacy of your own home where you can be like, okay, cut,
Right.
redo,
Right.
and very loose with it. You're sitting there going, oh God,
This
everybody's
is
listening to
different.
me. There's a guy holding
Yeah.
a boom right at my, can you hear me? Like right there. If I mess up, he catches it. Uh,
Yeah. Everything.
so how have you found any difference between that? Like, I guess when you're on set, you're ready to go, you're off book. Do you get jitters, or is it just like a good, fun, nervous?
I think it's more of a fun nervous. I think being on set, after you get over the initial shock of like everybody's looking at me, everybody's looking for me and the notion that like, oh, this is a job too. There's money on the line, there's a lot riding on this. There's a lot at stake. So like you gotta really be, able to emotionally regulate yourself and be prepared to deliver. But I think I've gotten to a place where it's fun and it's easier. Like everything, like in the audition, it's so weird because you're pulling from all imagination, right? You're looking at a piece of tape on the wall, and maybe you have a reader in person with you, and your lights are there, and you're waiting for
Mhm.
the dog to stop barking. But when you're on set, like all the things have come to life, and so it allows you to plop yourself into the world more seamlessly, and then you can just be in the world versus having to create the world in your little studio or at a
Yeah.
self-tape studio. And it allows you a different type of freedom to be able to transition more seamlessly.
Yeah.
But I think like the nerves are natural for every actor. It's like you're like you have that moment of like, do I know what I'm doing?
Right, right. And you never know what your co-star is going to bring. And
Right.
it could be an emotional scene. Comedy's different. You don't have to be, well, I say that because I like comedy. I'd say you don't
Yeah.
have to be nervous because a lot of improv happens, but that's assuming you like comedy, you do
Right.
comedy, and
But what if
that's
you bomb every joke?
right. And your improv's bad. And then,
Right.
Jason Bateman turns around, sorry, or somebody turns around and goes, hey, what's going on? We got to,
Cast that guy.
right. They're like, we need five, bring in the double or
Right.
something. But the energy on set is definitely can be overwhelming. And to your point, you have to be able to emotionally regulate. A lot of people don't think about that, where they just get, oh, I'm going to to set and show up and do my thing. But like what we were talking about earlier, what if you get on set and all of a sudden you see an A-lister and you're starstruck and you can't perform
There was a casting director recently talking about how they cast an actor off of a self-tape. I think just off the tape, not like with a callback or anything. And then the actor got there and was overwhelmed and couldn't deliver and had to like they had to like talk the actor down off the ledge and like
Hmm.
calm them down and everything. And it's like I think that has been like a drawback of the self tapes because if someone is doing 50 takes at home and then they get to set and it's like they're expected to be able to deliver right away and they haven't worked that muscle to a degree to be able to do so, then it's like, ooh, this gets tricky. It gets
Yep.
tricky really
Time is
quick.
money. Burning daylight. Burning
Yep.
daylight. And
Yep.
that's
So.
a great point that a lot of people don't think about, that the casting director doesn't know how long you took to do that audition.
And I think when they were bringing actors in person, they are able to gauge and assess if this person can instant coffee deliver.
Real quick.
With the pressure of this audition, which is a microcosm of what set would be like. It's like, okay, this person is comfortable with getting here, hitting their lines, knowing the story, delivering it effectively. I can trust them to go on to set and do the same thing. Self-tapes, you kind of remove that element of can they do this? Unless you bring
Yeah.
them in for a callback and then you can gauge that way. But
Yeah. It
yeah.
adds a lot of variables, and a lot of casting directors now are having kind of uh like calls, like video call, like not auditions, but like they're about to book you, but they just want to have like a face to face real quick.
Yeah.
People are doing that, which is fine. You're gonna have to do that in person anyway. Uh,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of times where I've gotten on set and I'm, one or two lines, or let's say I have a couple, and to your point, you see the main actor not off book, or because a lot of these things are now booking influencers with lots of followers, and
Yeah.
they're realizing too late on set, hey, this person can't actually act. I was
Right.
told to use this person, and I've got all these actors around him being held back by, and whether it's an influencer or not, if you have just somebody that's not prepared or nervous beyond belief, can't really, what do you do? It's,
Yeah,
I guess that's why you don't cast influencers, you know. I remember back, do you remember the YouTube Red series when YouTube Red came out?
I
It was like when
do.
when YouTube first started getting people to pay for it. They did like Logan Paul
Hmm.
and like all these other big YouTube influencers. They just put them behind a paywall and started a series called Escape the Night, which is how I got my SAG card. I got Taft-Hartley to
Oh,
play
really?
a World War I German soldier. Like you couldn't find one white blonde dude in LA to do it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, thank you. I'll take it.
Taft Hartley, right. You get, yeah, take it.
But what was the job that got you? It was a commercial that got you in the union?
Yeah, it was a Dairy Queen national commercial where I had to sing like a Dairy Queen jingle.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
Um,
got me Taft Hartley.
are you taking any classes? Do you stay in classes right now, or do you come in and out of them, or how do you navigate that world?
I kind of come in and out of them. Most recently, I was with Gregory Berger, Berg Studios. His thing is, he's a Yale Drama School graduate. All of his teachers there are Yale Drama School graduates, and so it's very technical based. Like, and what I've enjoyed about it is like creating like a repeatable audition process something that you can use for every audition, which is what I was looking for before that. And before that, I was in a on-camera commercial. I mean, I was actually just recently in an on-camera commercial audition class, and then I was in an on-camera audition technique class, which was good because we were working on like every genre of things currently casting so that like and it's all like series regular level work. So yeah, but I toggle in and out. I think it's good to stay fresh and sharp. And then I also audition a great deal. Like I probably auditioned the most that I've ever have. I think I kind of make the analogy of like at my time here is like 12. I'm at like 12 years of being here. It's like I'm like a 12-year-old getting its, like about to enter high school or something,
About to
or
be a
like
teenager.
about to be a teenager in the business.
Can't drive yet, but just
Can't drive,
about
but
to be a
like
teenager.
I got an attitude and I got, I'm catching my stride. So I think I get a lot of practice from that too in real time. So yeah.
How has do you remember, first two questions. Do you remember your first audition that you ever did, either in person on camera? And two, how has that process from 12 years ago changed, if it has? How's it evolved to now? Obviously, you're quicker off book, all that stuff, but has it changed at all? You know,
For sure. I don't think I knew what I was doing really when I first started. I remember my first audition, like a real audition for a project was in college for like a short film. And I remember just like rereading the sides like a million times and um, kind of, well, I guess it hasn't changed that much. I still do that. I read the sides like a bunch and I kind of start to get ideas and downloads of like things are starting to pop out at me, like, or I discover things about the character and about the story. Um, and that always just kind of came natural. And so I remember doing that audition, didn't book it, but the director gave me good feedback, like, wow, that was really like that was a really natural read. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like
were you
maybe this is for
surprised?
me. I think I was surprised because I was, just starting. Like this is when I
Green.
was getting to the point of like, okay, I'm a business student, but I don't really fit in with these
Mm,
business majors, like this culture. Like I've always been like more of an artist.
right.
So that was the beginning of that. And I think now I just have way more resources and tools and things that I consider when I'm, working on my audition. Like, it's always like the simple things like what's happening, where am I, what am I doing, what do I absolutely need, like insatiably. What happens if I don't get it? What obstacles can I create that, creates barrier and makes the story and the audition more textured and nuanced. So it's old acting teachers would consider it like getting your painting more textured and like just more
Your
defined.
brush strokes are cleaner.
Yeah, they're
Right.
cleaner and like I'm painting a way clearer picture than like the sun in the middle of the the paper
Yeah.
that you used to do when you were in kindergarten.
The
It's
little
like,
birds that are just like this.
yeah, they just now it's like, okay, you see wings and you see
Mm.
detail and you see, the sky has texture. So like it is definitely transitioned and grown a lot. I
Yeah.
think about when I first started like auditioning for, I think one of the first big movies I auditioned for was like Pitch Perfect 3 or something. And I was still so green. I bombed that audition so bad.
Oh no.
And it was in
Can you
person.
tell people why? Did you have to sing?
I didn't have to sing. I don't think the character I auditioned for sang, but I think I was so like in my mind, like, whoa, this is a movie. Like I was psyched out at the fact that it
Mm.
was like a major motion picture that like I was so nervous. Like I was probably like shaking in the room. And
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, didn't get that.
We've all
Didn't get
had
that.
those couple moments where you realize you're like,
Like, whoa. I was so nervous and it was all in my head. It was all in my doing. So I think that there's so much like mentally that you have to take into account, like spiritually, like you really have to be centered within this business because there's a lot going on at any given time. Like the resilience you have to have and the persistence and the self-belief you got to have in yourself
faith.
because we don't hear it. We hear so many no's. The no's come way more than the yeses. So like there has to be something internally that is keeping you going.
You have to really love it. Like
You have to really love it.
this has to be your thing, your calling. Like every time you
Yeah,
talk, yeah,
if
it's
you're not called to it, it's like do something else, do anything else, please.
right. And I mean,
Because
that's not just acting, that's everything.
that's
Like
everything.
if
Yeah.
you're not, I went to my degree is political science, and it's like business, and if it's not what you really love, if I was talking to somebody and it was like, listen, if everything was removed and there was nothing to do in the world, what would you do?
Yeah.
And that's what you should do. If you're like, oh, I would still create little characters with sand, and like some seashells and do all this fun little diorama stuff. Okay, cool. You're a fun little storyteller and creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm always curious, what's the first thing you do when you get an audition? Like you open up the audition on Actors Access, boom, it's right there. You look at the script. What do you do?
I look at the breakdown, I look at the team that's producing it. I see like what other things they've done to see
The
like
pay rate.
the pay rate, what is it paying? Of course. See what the team has done, what type of stories they tell, and then like, I'll usually print it out and read it once, try to get a gist of what's happening. Then I read it like three more times, just to read it from like a story. Like I try to read it like a narrative or like, like a piece of literature versus like I used to be like the person that's like, okay, and then I say that there, and then
hmm
my next line, all right, then my next, and then you just miss so much nuance of the story. So now I read it like a story, and keep in mind what the story is and what's trying to be told, and then I start to like do my script analysis and look for like the subtext and what's not being said and how my character feels and how the other character feels and how what they're saying is affecting me and what's my relationships to this character and to other characters being mentioned and my who, what, when, where, why. Um, yeah, I mean, there's so many things that that happen, but
I'm with you. The first thing I used to do is, oh, this is my character, highlight, 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 highlight. And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, my line's this, then this, and that, and that. And I didn't even know what the other lines were.
Yeah, but what the other people are saying is just as important as what you're saying,
Yeah, if
if
not
not more,
more.
because it's literally affecting you. So, and then another thing that I do and that I didn't used to do is like read the stage directions. Like those moments also really inform what's happening in the scene.
Yeah,
If they say you trip over your shoe, like you need to be tripping over your shoe.
doing something that looks like that.
Like, yeah, or like because
Like
the
something.
writer the writer wants to see what they wrote and they want to buy what they wrote.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's what they're purchasing. Who
hmm
can deliver what I wrote?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's changed, you know,
And
how
there's
I
layers
approach
to
it.
it, right? There's
Yeah.
there's layers to it where step one, okay, I read it like a novel, take out the stage direction. I just read it like a
Yeah.
novel. Then
Yeah.
okay, I've got a little bit of a take on the story, put the stage direction back in. and then you go, okay. Because if you don't, like you said, if you don't read the stage direction, it can read like a comedy, it can read like a drama. It could
Yeah,
you could go anywhere. You could be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they're like, the stage direction says he's laying down in his bed. Like,
literally.
yeah, they're like, "What do you?" And the casting director's like, "Okay, this guy didn't even look at the
This guy doesn't know how to act, or this guy
no
doesn't know how to
or
follow
read."
directions, or this guy, I can't trust this guy on this set.
Yeah, or right. Okay, let's and if he did read and okay, he just chose to do whatever he
Doesn't
wanted.
follow directions. It's
And
not
I
easy to
will
work with.
say, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna submit a tape that's not, and I'd love to ask you how many takes you send to people, because if you do one like that, that's a little bit more of a bold choice, you have to send one that they're asking for.
That they're asking. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Send if you're gonna send more than one, at least send the one they're looking for, along with whatever you send. Well, what are some of the auditions you've had where you felt good about it and you're like, okay, I think I'm going to book this, and then you booked it, or on the flip side where you're like, okay, I got this, I know this is role is mine, and then it just was crickets. You didn't hear anything, you didn't get it.
Yeah. I remember I was auditioning for like a co-star on this show on OWN network. And I had just finished classes with Leslie Kahn, and her whole thing is about thoughts, like what is the character
Hmm.
thinking? And to actually like use the stage directions and everything. And so I was like at a skating rink, or yeah, I was at a bowling alley or something, and I was like the guy handing out the shoes. And like I used some shoes, and we had to do it three different ways, and I just felt really good about it. I was like, I think I'm telling the story here. Like I think like I'm it feels like a slice of life of like what's going to be on the show. And I was in Brazil, and I found out that I actually booked it, and it was like and I was like, okay, what did I do different so I can like apply this
Right.
all the time? But then I remember like I remember being in an Old Spice commercial audition, and I felt like I bombed. Like
Mm.
I think I let out an F-bomb in the audition and everything. Like, and then I get a call back. And on the callback sheet, it said, "This guy is amazing."
I
Blew
mean,
my
that's
mind.
awesome to see.
Yeah, it was like it was like in the notes.
Did you
And I
take a
was
picture of
like,
that?
"Nah, I
You'd be
didn't take a."
like,
I was so mind
right,
blown. And
right.
so I think my takeaway from it is like you can't always trust your thoughts, or like what your experience is doesn't mean like that was the experience for who may be watching.
Hmm.
And so like that always stuck with me. Um, and then I mean I didn't end up booking that. I didn't end up booking that, but it was good. I did reach a veil on it, but you know,
Okay.
I was just like, wow, like it was just such a lesson, and like everything that feels icky is not, and everything that feels great is not. I mean, there's been a slew of auditions where I'm like, I crushed that. I killed that. I just there's a Snowfall spinoff. I feel like I killed the audition for that. Crickets. I can't whistle, but
Right, right, right. Whatever,
cricket.
cricket, insert cricket sound here.
Insert a cricket sound on this, but like nothing. Um, and then there's times where you just feel like you're so in the pocket, and you are, and like you get the response, but I can't say that like I think if you consistently do good work, and when there's like alignment for whose, whose project it is, like you're either in alignment or you're not. And like you got to be able to just roll with the punches.
Yeah. And that's a great point that we forget a lot is that we take everything personally. And which, let's be honest, it is in a lot of ways, like, but it's not personal to you as a person, like
Right,
your personality as a person. They don't know you. They're just judging
right.
this character presentation.
Hmm.
And it just may, like you said, it just may not fit for this story. I'm sure you've had this. Have you ever had any times where somebody will say, listen, I really liked your audition. It's just not going to go for this project?
I recently, yeah, I had read for a short film, and the director reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I just want to give you kudos. You were one of our top choices. We think your work is impeccable." But we ended up going in a different direction. But I would be remiss just not to let you know that you were a top contender and we think the world of you. And that made my day. I wasn't even mad that I didn't book it. It was nice to get some feedback. It
Right.
was nice. It was nice to know like, okay, I am doing good work.
Right. As
Because,
opposed to them being like, hey, don't ever come in to audition for us like ever again. You're
ever
terrible.
again, like, what's your other survival gig? Maybe
Yeah,
stay.
yeah. Stay there.
Yeah.
Work doubles.
Yeah. So it was nice to get that though. And it's like it felt good and then, it was refreshing to get good feedback.
Yeah.
Um,
Those emails are few and far between.
Few and far between.
And in a way, like you said, bittersweet, but you can't even be mad about it because you finally got feedback and it was complimentary.
Yeah.
And, it's almost like it's not you, it's me. You're
Right.
amazing. You're amazing. You're a great guy. You
You
got a
get
lot to
really,
offer. And you're like, okay, don't
all
patronize
right,
me
don't
right now.
patronize me. Exactly. I think you get really good at rejection in the pursuit of this
You have
business.
to. If you're not now, you will be.
You
Because if you
will.
if you're not, you're not going to stay in it.
Yeah, and I think it just keeps you prepared for because it's like new level, new devil. It's like you go from, yeah, if I can only get an agent, you get an agent, and then it's like, if I can only get a call back, you get a call back, then you don't book. If I can only book a thing, then you book a thing, and then you want a bigger part. It's like every level
Little taste of
creates
each
a
one.
new, yeah, you want to reach
It's
a
like crack.
new. You want another hit. You just want another hit of it,
Can
So
I just get on set again, please?
yeah, exactly. So you just want to I think it builds such a character within yourself, like a strength, a knowing that you have to really be solid in the pursuit of this business. I think some people that get success too early without going through all the
Mm,
motions of rejection, no close, being close, but not getting like they don't have that backbone and that, core strength that is kind of required
right.
because the industry will r- ring you
Oh
up.
yeah. Oh yeah. It doesn't care.
It's like,
24 hours is the memory of that's it, if that,
if that,
and that's a great point of the people that either are child stars early or they hit their first or second audition and then they don't have to audition for 10 years. And then they have a little bit of a downslope and then they got to start auditioning again. I can't even imagine what that would
feel
mentally
like,
do,
yeah.
if not kick you out of the industry. But that's another test. Like, hey, do you really love it, or did you just like the early success that you had?
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard not to like early success, but
right.
it's just like being born into money. You're going to have struggles later in life that just because you didn't have to go through certain things
Yeah,
to shape you. Um, you know,
facts.
where are where are some places that like shows that you'd like to be on that you've auditioned for that you're like, are they still going? Like you said, Snowfall. Are there any
Yeah.
shows that you've auditioned for that you actually like really? Because I know we don't watch a lot of the stuff that we audition for.
Yeah.
But is there a lot of shows that currently on now that you'd like to be on?
Uh, I feel like a lot of stuff is like going off the air.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, I had a few auditions for like Insecure back when it was on. I really wanted to be on Insecure.
Yeah.
Um, there's a new show, Nemesis, on Netflix that's like kind of fun and cool and edgy. I
Yeah.
really liked I really liked Hacks. Like, cause like I'm pretty good in comedy and drama, so it's like I can toggle between. I would really love to do like a sitcom or like they're really not out
Do you
anymore.
prefer comedy or drama or just good writing?
I mean, good writing is like the words just fall out your mouth. But
There's such
um,
a keep going, dude. That is such a good thing. Like
I
you've
would love
gotten
to be on
scripts.
Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, good writing changes everything. Like you
There,
like
there's a lot of times, I
thoughts
mean,
like this.
you've read, I'm sure, for, The Young and the Restlesses and, nothing against the writers there, but it's just so different than if it's a Game of Thrones or
Yeah,
a Breaking Bad or Sopranos or something that
yeah.
I'm naming like, Mount Rushmores of,
Of
of
writers.
writing, but
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to prove my point, it's, good writing helps the actor so much.
yeah,
And it almost does the job for you, you know.
yeah,
You just
yeah.
need to put some, a little bit of flair, your personal touch on it, and that's it.
Yeah, you're able to just like lock in. Like,
But there's so many, like on your IMDb, my IMDb, anybody's IMDb, there's like what, 10, 15, 20 credits, or maybe, if we're lucky.
yeah,
That's how many auditions I did, last month.
yeah,
Like we're on top of, I mean, how many have you been rejected by? And that's the IMDb's are what you did, you
yeah,
completed, and there's 15 of them, and you've done 12 years of auditions,
yeah.
you know?
I kind of keep there's and you see these actors in interviews talk about I had 500 auditions before I broke through. I had 700. I had 350. And it's like, yeah, that's where I'm at. I've
Um,
had hundreds and hundreds of auditions.
yeah. What
Yeah.
are some of those moments, if you can remember any, where you're like, this is a moment that's kind of ironing me out that when I'm on those shows later I can talk about, like those plays that were for free or the auditions where you're like, hey, I shot it in the bathroom of work because I had 10 minutes to go. Are there any moments that you can pick out where you're like, man, I gotta just do this. And then there's other
Yeah.
ones
I
that just
mean,
kind of fell in your lap.
so many. I mean, bartending as a survival gig, right? It's like sometimes the audition is due at 9 a.m. and you get off at 2 a.m., get home at 3. And if you say, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. and do it," it's like, no. So now it's 3:30 in the morning after a long shift, and you're, "Hey, I'm Jermell Deshauan," like the grind is like, and like these are the moments that you are continuously choosing to sacrifice for your dream and for your purpose and your calling. Like that happens so much,
Yeah. And it's
so
very
much.
easy. I've caught myself a couple times. It's very easy to say, well, I'll just not do it and I'll just do the next one or something like that. And lately, I've been in the mode of, no, you don't know if you're going to get a next one. And what if you stop acting tomorrow?
Right.
And I forgot a long time ago, there was somebody saying, like, it was along with that commercial where it's like, just one more. Like, it was like that Under Armour commercial where it's like,
Yeah.
just one more rep. But it freaking got to me because I was like, okay, just one more audition because what if that's the one?
What if that's the one? Yeah, and it's like that story of that guy that stopped 100 feet away from gold. It's like I
Mm,
don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be. I'm plugging away. I'm plugging away. I'm knocking it down. I'm one yes away, and I'm like, no.
hmm.
I tell myself no, and that's another no. That's not a yes when it could have been.
Right. Don't tell yourself
Yeah,
no when other people are doing it for you. Um, and that's a
literally.
great point actually, because we kind of once you're in the union, like you said, the little tangible steps of your career, like getting in the union, getting an agent, getting an and or manager, booking your first role, guest star, co-star, lead, whatever it is. We it's interesting to think of like that casting director out of 8 billion people in the world said they want to see your art.
Yeah,
That's a compliment. Um,
yeah.
if you
And it's
got a
the
reel,
opportunity
it's an
to show
opportunity to
it.
act. And
Yeah.
I guess what's things you do in your personal life, if you don't mind, that you do to stay mentally fit and decompress and kind of detach from this world so that you have a freshness and zest coming back into it? Like go to the
Um,
beach or, you know,
Yeah, like I'm really like an avid meditator. So I like to quiet my mind and like, get all that gunk and that like negative self-talk and all of that would otherwise just stay in there.
hmm.
Like let it flow out and unplug from that because if you don't ever unplug, it's like ruminating in there somewhere. So I'm like I like to do that a lot. I think having peers in the industries, people that are also on this pursuit that support you and can inspire you and can speak life into you and in the hard and difficult times when you feel like, man, fuck this. Because those moments happen. Like, I'm not gonna like sit here and act like you don't get
No.
frustrated in this pursuit of this business. You absolutely do. So, like, it's like having a good support system goes a long way too. And having fun and living a life outside of this industry. I love to travel. I love to go out the country and as soon as you book a trip, as soon as you touch down, you got an audition.
Yeah. And that's how
As
it
soon as you
works.
leave town, you got an audition.
How
It's
it
wow.
works every time.
Every time you
Or
want
you
an
actually
audition, you have
book
an audition
something.
in a minute, go out of town. So yeah, I like to travel, meditate, and and go to lean on my community and support system, and I
Right.
think that
It's
helps me stay leveled,
grounded. Yeah.
grounded. Yeah.
That's a great point. You have to disconnect to reconnect. And
You got to get out and live life too. It's just going to make you a better artist. I remember old acting coaches being like, somebody in class can't like be intimate with somebody or connect in that way. It's
mm,
like, you haven't had your heart broken, huh? You don't date, huh? It's like, yeah,
ooh,
you need to go get your heart broken. It's like that's gonna just add so much texture and nuance to your acting and your artistry because now you can come from a real place. What
now you got some
feeling?
feelings.
Yeah, now you got some real feelings about.
You're like, you'll read the script and be like, I remember that fucking asshole. Oh, I know
Literally.
exactly who this person is, and
Yeah, you got stuff to pull from when you're out really living life and consuming art and other mediums. I think that also helps too. You can't just
definitely.
be, head down in this and not, living life because art imitates it.
Yep.
Yep.
And the more life experience you have, another actor said this years ago when I was in LA. I actually think it might have been John C. Riley. I went to the SAG Foundation. I love those little talks that they have
Yeah. Yeah,
with other
same.
actors because they're a little bit more open because it's their peers as opposed to like press.
Right. Right.
Um, but I saw a bunch of them talk and they all said that same thing. Like, go live your life. Like, you want to go book a trip, don't not book it because you're like, well, what if I book something and or I have class? You're like, F your class, dude. Just go. Like, don't pay for it and then waste your money, obviously.
Right. Right.
But as soon as the month's over, book your trip, have your fun. If you have an agent, book out unless you have a,
Right.
a way to take your stuff with
Hey,
you and
while you're
and
there. Yeah.
audition. But and even then, when you're out there, like I'm trying to be more present and kind of outside of this industry. And even when I'm on set now, because like I said, I don't know when I'm going to get back on set. And so now when I'm on set, I'm a little bit more like,
Taking it in. Yeah.
yeah, a little bit
Present.
more like
Yeah.
this is cool. If this was my last set, cool.
Yeah.
Like I got a visual. That's just me though, because, I prefer the writing, directing, producing that as opposed to acting.
Mhm.
I just hate auditioning. And so I
We had kind of talked about this a little offline, like how auditioning. I was saying like for me, I had to change my mind about it and realize like it was an opportunity to act and like this is a chance to perform. I gotta do a little more work with my imagination to bring it to life, but it is a chance to perform,
yeah.
and that's helped me because I used to be like, I hate auditioning.
Hmm. Right.
But
Like,
a lot of actors do not like it.
yeah. I mean, I'd say most actors don't like auditions. They like acting,
Yeah.
or scene studies and exercises and stuff. But, even without auditioning, I mean, they do make you better. The more auditions you have, you get into a rhythm. You learn your angles on your phone or your reader that you use all the time. You start getting a good flow. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of that, where do you go to get your auditions done? Do you do them at home with a reader? Do you go into like a self-tape place?
I actually have a self-tape studio here in my apartment.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a extra, it was a den, but I just converted it into like a self-tape. I got the soft box lights, ring
And
lights.
do you have people come read with you or
I prefer that my reader is in person. But if not, then, over Zoom or FaceTime.
right,
But more than likely, more tan usual, it's in person.
right. Well,
Yeah.
short little plug for ATX Self-Tape. If you need a reader, I know you. Hit me up. If anybody listening needs a reader, I do Zoom or in person, and hopefully we're going to get an office space here in the next couple months. But I'm with you. It's kind of obviously last resort to do Zoom or something like that,
Yeah.
but at least it's an audition. And
Yeah.
I've heard a
And
lot of
you got
casting directors start to talk about, and I've done it a couple times where the other reader just has like one or two lines. I'll use an AI voice,
hmm
and they can tell. I mean, I can tell it's an AI voice. Um, but it's like, what's going on? It's like, I don't know. Where's the light? And you're like, "Hmm."
Okay.
That was their choice.
I
That
just
wasn't
got to use it. I just got to use it.
right. As opposed to my first auditions were with my mom, uh, which that's fine, but some of
Yeah.
the scenes were weird that
Yeah.
probably should have been a
Oh,
friend.
it's like
Um,
she was a love interest.
right. Or she's watching me with a love interest
Ah,
where it's
okay. Yeah.
like, not my thing.
I
But
do think that actors should be using other actors when possible because you're just going to get a better read.
that's a good piece of advice is
Yeah.
if you can, please use other actors. The casting can tell, you can tell, it makes your audition better. And,
Yeah.
you know,
The last thing you don't want is, or the last thing you want happening is that your reader is like taking the
awful.
casting director out of the scene because they're so bad.
Yeah. There's been times you deliver your line, you're like, what's going on? Okay, that's your and
That's
it's
when you
it's it gets
say your line.
frustrating too when you're and also too, I've had a couple times where I did read this was an interesting lesson for me. I had a girl I knew, she moved to Atlanta a long time ago, but I started getting a bunch of auditions for Turn, the show on AMC about the Revolutionary War, and I would always hit her up because it was the only person I knew in LA at the time. And we were both fresh to LA, and I was like, "Hey, I got another audition. I got another audition." But she wasn't auditioning much, and
Mm,
she kind of just, kind of stopped really being responsive and, fair enough. She
yeah.
probably helped me on 20 auditions while I helped
Oh,
her on maybe
wow.
two. And it wasn't because I said no, it was just because she
The
didn't have any.
frequency wasn't
And
there.
so
Yeah.
I say that so in case somebody does say they can't help you, don't take it personally, uh, because you never know where they are mentally.
Where they are. Yeah.
Because
In
that
their
would
journey.
kind of rub me, a little bit too. Like, hey, man, like what, any
Other
roles
one?
for me, that kind of thing. But having an actor reader is a huge thing. I've found over the years. I remember my first audition that I ever had was for Homeland. It
Oh,
was like,
wow.
yeah, and it was literally a week after signing with an agency, which I didn't have a reel, I didn't have a resume, I just had a headshot. And it was the Finn Cannons. They called me in, Mark and Craig Fincannon, casting directors in the Southeast area.
Mm.
And I remember it was like just a government agent guy that had like one line. And I was so nervous. And I just was like, I just stood up there and I was like, I don't know where he went. And then I watched it like later and I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah. Do
I'm
you
surprised
ever
they
go
wrote.
back and watch old auditions?
I do. I do.
What do you think?
The ones I've seen, there's been a couple where I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have booked me either on that. Like,
Yeah.
and there's been a couple where I'm like, what?
Actually, yeah.
That wasn't bad. And then there's been some where I'm like you said earlier, where I'm like, man, I was there. I was in it. I felt it. It looks good. This could be a scene in something. And I didn't book it. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's interesting you asked me that because I'm actually keeping all of them for a project I'm working on because I'm going to do a montage of this character's journey, and all those auditions are going to show his transformation.
Mm.
So it is interesting also to see, this is a very appearance driven industry along with performance.
Yeah.
But when you look at the camera, be honest with yourself and say, hey, did that audition, would I book this? Would I watch this guy? If I took this scene on H and put it on HBO Game of Thrones, does it seamlessly go right in there? If not, then you kind of have to hope for the best. But if not, then you know maybe keep keep working on it.
Getting on it. Yeah. Yeah.
But I do like watching my old auditions, and it is a good. It's like I grew up an athlete, so it's just like watching tape.
Watching tape. Yeah. You
There's
see,
I I will say, what's one thing that you've noticed from watching old auditions that you've corrected,
uh,
if anything?
yeah, I think that one thing was if I wasn't super comfortable with the text or something, like I would like do a weird like diversion of my eye, like
Mm,
and like so I
little
got
tick.
yeah, it was like this is a weird little tick that like is it's like distracting. And
Hmm.
so it's like now I'm aware of that, and the more comfortable I am with the
Mm.
material, it doesn't happen. But like that's one little thing. And then I think I just wasn't like I don't know. It's really humbling to look at old tape. It's
It
like,
really is. It's
woo,
Yeah,
rough.
you're right. Yeah, you're like
So I mean, but
delete it.
it's also really good to see the growth too. It's like you are really matriculating through this journey, and it's like you probably weren't ready yet.
That's kind of why that's what we're drilling down to is when you look back on it and you're like, man, why didn't I get that? And go back and be honest, and you're like, okay,
I wasn't
it was
ready.
all right, but you know, they're probably booking somebody that's already there.
Already ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, already
Yeah.
there, already hitting it.
Yeah. I had interesting feedback. I had a very emotional audition when I first got to LA. and it was a monologue, like a minute and a half long monologue, emotional. And I did it my best, at the time. I could like make myself cry, but I couldn't do it on command. I needed to kind of build up to it.
Yeah.
And the guy sat there after the audition and gave me feedback for like 15 minutes. And there was people waiting outside,
Yeah.
which they don't do. If
Interesting.
people know in-person auditions, they're like, let's go, let's go, let's
Yeah.
go.
It's like you may have 5 minutes per person, if
Maybe.
that. Yeah.
And if they don't decide right when you walk in, they'll be like, okay, thanks. You're like, damn, I didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
But he gave me a bunch of feedback and he said, hey, listen, at the end of the scene, you were right where we wanted you to be. But the person I book starts there.
Mm.
And I was like, and he goes, but you're on the right track. He goes, you're just green. And he goes, and I can just see it. And he's like, you're gonna be good, if you keep, he goes, you did better than a lot. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you. That he's like,
Mm.
you did that on raw, natural, just instincts.
Yeah.
He goes, but the person I book will come in, boom. And I was like, wow, that's first off, thank you. That's awesome but that was a very eye-opening piece of feedback. And
Yeah. And I'm happy he gave it to you because like it really takes time to be able to mature in this craft and to really be able to be operating at a certain level. It takes time and it takes going through the time to
mhm.
realize that how much
Yep,
time it takes.
20 years minimum. I heard somebody say
Say
that
it was 10, but like,
an A-lister, I forget who it was. It was another one of these talks. And they said, second you become an actor, don't expect anything for 20 years. And they were like, I know how you're feeling. You're like, F that. No, 20 years. And then now 10 plus years later, I'm like, no, I get what they're saying.
yeah, yeah,
Like even at the 10-year mark, there's a lot of stuff I haven't done, auditioned for, or even come close to getting, um, either in person or on set or whatever. And 20 years though just felt so long at the time.
yeah,
And now we're
yeah,
halfway there. I'm like, I'm glad I kind of listened to the people that told me stuff, but it still shoots your ego.
yeah.
It
You're
still
like, not
hurts.
me.
Right, right, right. I'm that
It's not gonna
exception.
take me that long.
No, maybe 10, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but dude, that's it. So you're auditioning more now. You got some more stuff going in.
Yeah, I recently signed with a new manager maybe a few months ago,
Nice,
uptick
congrats.
in auditions. Thank you. Love my commercial team at SBV. They're really good. They only do union commercial spots, so I'm
Awesome.
auditioning for like Snickers commercials and like, the big insurance spots and stuff. So like only really like high level stuff and it's good, but it's just like, the competition is stiff
It's fierce.
everywhere.
It's
Yeah, it's
fierce. It's
fierce.
getting
Fierce.
more stiff, more fierce,
Yeah.
because the talent pool is acting up, or excuse me, opening up more,
Yeah.
to more people. Where, dude, I've enjoyed catching up with you and
Yeah, no,
hearing
this has been
more
great, bro.
about all this stuff. I'm doing this, for two reasons. One, to help get me back motivated, to keep kind of going, and also two, I want to catch up with everybody I know, and I love talking
Yeah.
about this stuff. And if we're going to talk about
Man,
it,
I could talk about it for hours.
100%, and
Literally.
I could too. And I'll hit you up. I'll be in LA next week.
Oh,
So
dope.
yeah, so I'll give you a
Brandon's
shout.
here right now
You
with
what?
his son. I gotta connect with him, Brandon.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I just hit him up too. So
Oh,
hopefully
dope.
we can connect when I'm there. But dude, tell everybody watching if there's anything they can watch you in on demand, where they can find you social media wise, how they can support your journey going forward.
Oh, for sure. So it's Act Like Jermell on Instagram, Act Like JD on TikTok. I actually have a vertical that the producers just reached out to me while we were on this call. It drops tomorrow, which is July 2nd. It's going to inverted app. Um, so you can watch there. They say
Congrats.
it's super cheap. Thank you. It's going to be like $5 to watch the whole series, but it's really good, well written, or I wouldn't have done it.
Sure.
And I'm really excited for my performance in that. And then I have another project called Jamal Love Coded that's going to be on Here TV um, later
Soon.
this month,
Soon.
actually. Yeah, soon, later this month. So those are the two projects. I just had a call back for a cool project, and it was probably like the best callback I ever had, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful that to still be at it, to still be inspired, to still be resilient, to not be giving up and like, feel like I'm in my purpose. And I've also started to put out music, and my name is JD the Prince with my music. My first single, You Ain't Gotta Be Here, is out streaming on all
Let's
platforms. I
go.
got my next single coming out soon. So yeah, check me out, y'all.
I'm down with that. I love it. Did you ever envision yourself when you got into this that that would be that the journey would be what it is and that it would take you to right here? Like,
No, I don't think I could have imagined what it would be like. And nor did I think it would be as spiritual as it is. I saw in another episode you were talking about how like the scripts kind of sometimes find you where you are. That happens all the time. I always talk about
wild.
that. It will like the I got an audition that just came through, and
That gave
it's
me
like
goosebumps, bro.
I'm like, damn, this is what I need to be working on and talking about in my real life. Or
Mm,
like this is where I'm at. The text universally will find the actor.
mm.
This is why, like, when they say, roles were meant for you, it's like,
They are.
yes, they literally are.
There is one
Nobody
out
else
there
can
for you.
play it. Yep.
It
And
just
there's
may
one
not have
out
been
there for
written
you.
yet. The guy or girl might be doing their thesis film in film school, and then they're about to book you on their next one. You never know.
Yep.
And the only thing you can keep doing is just keep going.
Yep.
And and on that note, we'll leave it on a positive little fun little thing where, thanks again for being here, sharing your journey with everybody and everybody listening and watching. Thanks for watching and listening. Please like, share, subscribe, share this with everybody, support Jermell, and keep hooking them, keep booking them, and stay blessed and keep going. So thanks, man.
No, thank you.